Hello, how are you? I have a question for you. Did you know how to set Bcrypt password encoding in Spring Boot security? No? Then don't worry, today I am giving you a depth of knowledge about how to set Bcrypt password encoding in Spring Boot security. Let's check it. Introduction. In this video, I will help you understand the Bcrypt cryptography algorithm and how to use the decrypt password encoder in the Spring Boot project with Spring Security. What is Spring Boot Bcrypt and used for? Bcrypt is a password hashing function designed by Niels Provos and David Maziers, based on the Blowfish cipher and presented at Usenix in 1999. The Bcrypt hashing function allows us to build a password security platform that scales with computation power and understanding password encoder in Spring Boot. The password encoder is defined in the Spring Security configuration to encode the password. The passwords are encoded with the Bcrypt algorithm. Use of Bcrypt encoder in Spring Boot. Look below code for the Bcrypt encoder in Spring Boot. Next, understand about Bcrypt algorithm. Bcrypt algorithm is used to hash and salt passwords securely. Bcrypt is based on the Blowfish block cipher cryptomatic algorithm and takes the form of an adaptive hash function. Bcrypt permits building a password security stage that can advance nearby hardware innovation to guard against dangers or threats in the long run, like attackers having the computing power to guess passwords twice as quickly. The format of the hash string produced by the Bcrypt. The prefix is a version and is followed by the $$ and the check strength of the algorithm $, and the next 22 characters is salt and the last 31 characters are the hashed value of the magic cipher. Next, check out below example. That means for a given password the Bcrypt algorithm produced a hash string which is a result of encrypting the magic text here 64 times using the Blowfish algorithm with the private key as a given password. It means the password itself is not encrypted hashed even if it is used as a private key to hash this magic value 64 times. Now, understand Bcrypt hashing technique. Now let's read carefully here that the format of the hash string produced by the Bcrypt. The prefix is a version and is followed by the $, and the check strength of the algorithm $, and the next 22 characters is salt and the last 31 characters are the hashed value of the magic cipher. Next, here's an above example of hash chunks produced by Bcrypt. As you can see, the version number is $2A. The chunk or the cost is 10 and this characters as a salt and this characters as a hash value of magic ciphertext, and the versions can be $2A/2B and the chunk or strength of the cost of the algorithm ranging from 4 to 31. The higher the chunk or strength value, the more computational power it needs to generate the hash string, and the size of the salt is 128-bit base 64 encoded 22 characters. The size of the hash is 192 bits by 64 encoded to 31 characters. So, the total length of the hash string produced by the Bcrypt is 60 characters. So when designing a column in the database, make sure that the size of the data type of the column is equal to or greater than 60 characters. Now, next understand about implement Bcrypt password encoder and Spring Security. Spring Security supports Bcrypt to use the Bcrypt password encoder in the Spring Boot project. We need to import classes from this package, org.springframework.security.crypto.bcrypt, and the API class is Bcrypt Password Encoder. We have to use this class to encode our password into a hash string, and we also use this class to verify your password against an encoded value, and the algorithm implementation class is Bcrypt. This class is used by the Bcrypt Password Encoder class, and for the versions of the Bcrypt algorithm, Spring Security defines an enum Bcrypt version inside the Bcrypt Password Encoder class. So, here I will be use this constructor which accepts version $2 billion and strength is 7. So, it will generate the hashed string like below. Now understand the last topic of the video. Spring JDBC DataSource authentication using Bcrypt. For using the JDBC authentication, we need to configure the data source instance first, and for that, need to auto-wired it. Then we created a bean of type Bcrypt password encoder. Then we have to specify this encoder in the JDBC authentication so that Spring Security will know that the password that it is going to fetch from the database will be in the Bcrypt encoded format. Accordingly, It will have to handle this encoded password for authentication. Please refer to the below code snippet. The above code takes care of the Bcrypt encoding during the login. However, during saving the password into a database, we have to save it in an encrypted format so that it gets securely stored in DB. Now what I will do is, I am going to auto-wire the password encode class, and using this I am going to first encrypt the password that we get from the customer, and then this will be passed to the user object in our code. This is how encryption and encoding can be done. Please refer to the above code where the password that we are receiving from the user we are encrypting and then storing it into a database. I have tried to share my best knowledge about how to set Bcrypt password encoding in Spring Boot security. I hope this is useful for you. If have any query or to know about us, contact us on. Mail us at info@aegissofttech.com. Our contact number, +91 98241 72020. Our address, Royal Square, 1st floor, office number 110, near Sleep Tower, Tagore Road, Rajkot, 360,001, Gujarat, India. Thank you for watching.